The following may not be suitable for children under the age of 18. Welcome to the Sky Genie Show, the absolute worst podcast you'll ever hear. I am the Sky Genie, and if you're expecting some fancy-ass podcast with great music and great guests and interviews and shit like that, you ain't getting it here, buddy. I am here to talk about wrestling and pretty much whatever else the fuck I want, whether it's in the world of WWE, making fun of TNA, or something in MMA that catches my interest. We'll be talking and discussing about that. And really, if I feel like talking about something else that's not wrestling, I will fucking do it. And if you don't like it, you can fuck off. If you would like to support this show, go on the homepage and there's a little button there that says you can donate money. You can give me $1, $5 Australian, or whatever the fuck you'd like. And if you support the show, well, think of what could happen. I can improve quality of audio. I can improve the sounds in that. I could even get a co-host and afford Skype. I mean, let's face it, I'm broke as, but you didn't hear that part. And it's all, for $1 and $5 Australian. I mean, it can't be that bad, right? I will admit, I am in no way, anyway, a good podcaster. That's why I call it the worst show ever. But, hey, let's have some fun, right? I do have to warn you about Genie Jr. I know you don't want to hear about my kids on a podcast, but I have to warn you about him. He's special. His favorite food is glue, and he has a pet cat that I ran over and killed that he takes around everywhere. And it's a little disturbing. I just don't know how to break the news to him. And he sleeps with a llama. Yes, a llama. And he happens to be 34 years old. And I'm only 28, so how does that work? I don't know. But the less said about him, the better. And so if you hear me going off, then that's why. Anywho, let's get on about the pay-per-view Clash of Champions that was on. And you know what? For some reason, I absolutely loved this pay-per-view. I mean, it had very good wrestling. Maybe the outcomes wasn't so great, but the wrestling on it was fantastic. Maybe a little long. I will attest to that, but hey, can't have everything, right? We'll start off with the pre-show, I guess, was Nia Jax versus Alicia Fox. I didn't hate it. I mean, I could see that Nia Jax needs to improve. She's still very green, but Alicia Fox really worked her ass off in that match. And well, Nia Jax kind of reminds me of a female Vader. I mean, if she was to bust out a moonsault or a Vader bomb, hey, I would probably pop and cheer for that. And anyway, it was a great match, and we'll follow on to the pay-per-view. Up next was the WWE Tag Team Championship, the New Day versus the Club. Now I know what you're thinking. Man, New Day versus the Club has been terrible. It's been a very terrible feud. And it has. And especially the last couple of weeks leading up to it, I could see where WWE saw the error of their ways. And in this match particularly, you saw them trying to actually work like they're supposed to as a badass tag team with the Club and taking on the New Day. And I thought the match was very good for what it should have been. But anyway, the New Day retained, and really, what's left for the Club to do now? And I think it might have been a mistake for these guys to come to WWE. They should have stayed with New Japan, where they still would have been big names. I mean, when you sign talent with a buzz like they have, when you think in WWE is not going to push them as major deals. They're going to get out what they can of them from them, and when they're done, they're just going to get rid of them. or put him down in the mid card, and they'll probably end up splitting the team up. Carl Anderson, I see as somebody with a future as a singles guy, but Luke Gallows, I don't see him going anywhere. Up next was the debut of the Cruiserweight champion, TJ Perkins, facing the returning Brian Kendrick. This match I thought was a little bit of a letdown, and TJ Perkins, to me, I don't think is ready for the main roster. He has cool music from that looks like it's from Sega, but if this division is to continue going further, I don't think TJ Perkins is the rightful man to be champion. Going on next to my favourite match of the night, and I thought really stole the show, was Cesaro versus Sheamus. Yeah, I said that. Cesaro versus Sheamus. It's a weird match, because this actually left me wanting to see more between Cesaro and Sheamus. But this was a best of 7 series, and the criticism I have of this, why wasn't this shown in the previous 6 matches? You see what I mean? Well, this match happened to be the best. I saved the best to last, I guess, but and ended in a no contest. And I see people feeling upset because they got a bad ending with a no contest with it, and it's kind of shitty how they went with it on Raw, which I'll talk about later. But to me, that was actually classic pro wrestling, or Smash Mouth pro wrestling, which is something we don't see anymore. And really, if this was the NWA days, this would be a common thing. And I guess nowadays people want an outcome because people pay all this money, but then you only pay $10 a month for the pay-per-view, so you're going to get what you pay for. So really, you can't complain on that. Overall, it was a good match. Up next was Chris Jericho versus Sami Zayn. Now, with this match, I thought it was an okay match. It wasn't show-stealing or anything like that. I didn't really like the fact that Chris Jericho was no-selling punches from Sami Zayn, but hey, what are you going to do? This match was okay, but that was just about it. We then had the women's champion Charlotte defend her title against Bayley and Sasha Banks. Now, I think it was way too early to put Bayley in this match and have her lose so quickly. Yeah, you can have her lose, but you need to build her up to lose, you know what I mean? I mean, with NXT, they built her up so well, and gets to the main roster, and they kind of just job her out like she's nothing. Absolutely nothing. She hasn't even established a fan base. I thought it was a really good match for the women that were involved, and it was pretty much what I was expecting. I expected this to steal the show, to be honest with you, and it almost did, except for that Cesaro-Sheamus match. But either way, it was a very good match. We move on to the next match, was Roman Reigns versus the United States champion Rusev for the United States Championship. And I'm going to be honest with you, I fell asleep during this match. I caught the bit of the beginning, missed the middle of it, got the end of it, and to be honest, from what I saw of it, it was kind of a little boring to me. It was not really that good in a match, and I'm not trying to be a guy that hates on Roman Reigns and all that other thing that people go, oh, you're a hater of it. No, I'm not a hater. I just didn't like this match, and I think that's fair to say. And well, Roman Reigns is the new United States champion, and to me that's a little bit interesting, as he's gone for a mid-card title instead of the main title, and I'm hoping this actually helps him, elevates him, because I do want to see Roman Reigns get into that main event spot, but I just don't think he's there yet. To me, I think he's money as a heel, he's got the attitude as a heel, he's got the verbiage of a heel, and really, that's where the money is in this guy. We then had the main event of the Universal Champion Kevin Owens defending his championship against Seth Rollins, and it was an incredible match, a really incredible match. The finish of it was a bit lame, with Chris Jericho coming out and then knocking down the referee, and then Stephanie sending down the referee late and actually screws Seth Rollins in the end. I mean, to me, the lack of Triple H. Well, there was Triple H on the well, it wasn't on the show. It was on WWE.com. But to me, Triple H should have came out and cost Rollins the match. It would have made more sense. But I'm not going to lie, the match was okay. The finish was a bit lame. But overall, it was a good match. Like most of these matches was very good wrestling on the show. And if I had to give this pay-per-view a grade, I'd say it was really a B+. It was that good of a pay-per-view just because of the wrestling alone. I would do a Raw review, but the thing is, I kind of forgot everything that happened on Raw. Reason why? Because it wasn't really that good of a show. I mean, everything about it was pretty much forgettable. It was definitely not a show to watch, and I think there was no effort put into it because of the presidential debate, I guess, and they realized nobody was going to watch anyway, so they just didn't put any effort into it. The effort was put on the pay-per-view, but yet it's not on for Raw, and you think considering the situation that Raw is in is getting low ratings all the time. I mean, last week was the lowest rated Raw show ever. You'd think they'll be putting everything they could to make sure it's watchable and to make sure people go, hey, I missed something last week. And here, you didn't really miss anything on Raw. Nothing on Raw did you miss. I mean, you could see it next week, or you could have went to the WWE Network and probably seen it a year ago. I mean, it was just there. And SmackDown is doing awesome. It's an awesome show because it's different, and I don't know if it's just because there's a different feel for the show and there's more hands on deck for that show to make it different, or if it's just for the fact it's live. It's a lot better of a show, and you're watching Raw and it's not following that same way, same thought. And really, it's really going to be telling, because if WWE wants to stay on the network, they have to draw those ratings. And I know people keep saying, "Oh, ratings don't matter." WWE said so. The ratings don't matter. Well, they do matter when it comes up to contract renewal. And USA Network don't want to be paying money for a show that nobody is watching. So WWE has to really amp it up. And if Vince McMahon can't get this up and going with his writing team, maybe he needs a new writing team, maybe he needs to step down or something, because this sucks. I want to talk briefly about WWE 2K17, and it's looking like a really good game that's coming out. And ever since they've gone to 2K, they have had a step back, because gone to PS4 and 3 and Xbox Ones, that they can't do custom music. That's something, but then they've also had to strip down a lot of stuff that they were previously allowed to do on PS3 and Xbox 360. And it's really a rebuild of this game, and it's really coming along nicely, and much quicker than THQ did when it took them 10 years to get to a certain point. But it's looking like a good game. I've pretty much paid and bought it, so I'm going to get it as soon as the game comes out. And when the game comes out, I'll give an actual review of the game. So check that out, WWE 2K17. If you're not thinking of buying it, I suggest you do it. In a funny bit of news, I saw that Ryback is interested in entering MMA following CM Punk, who competed in UFC with a tap out to Mickey Gall in about 2 minutes 14, I think it was. Well, Ryback is claiming that he is in talks with Bellator, and Really, do we need this? Do we really need this? Another pro wrestler going into MMA thinking he can do it. Okay, look at this. Brock Lesnar. The difference between Brock Lesnar doing it and Ryback and CM Punk doing it. Brock Lesnar is a freak. He is a fucking freak of a guy. Whether you like Brock Lesnar or you hate Brock Lesnar, whether he used steroids or didn't use steroids, you just look at the man. He is a freak. He is a... First off, he's an amateur champion. I mean, NCAA 2-time, is it? I mean, dude, that guy is freaking strong. And, hey, I'm not doubting that Ryback might not be a strong guy, but then... And by looking, looks like the fighter I saw, he's a white belt of jiu-jitsu or whatever the fuck he's doing. And really, okay, I've done martial arts, and I will tell you, I am in no way saying I could kick anybody's ass. I mean, to me, it was just an interest of doing. I mean, just because you do martial arts doesn't mean you can beat everybody up. It's insane to think that. And I don't know. I think some people have to check their ego and check their intelligence, because really, I don't see this as going anywhere. And if it does, I hope not. I hope Bellator has seen what happened with CM Punk and look at Ryback and go, nah, you got to do amateur first, buddy. Do the proper lengths. Go to the independent leagues. That's where you belong. And now I talk about Billy Corrigan and TNA. And, well, I'm going to get a lot of hate mail anyway. I'm going to start off by saying I don't give a flying fuck about TNA. I don't watch the show. I have no intention of watching the pay-per-view. And, well, I used to watch TNA until they made Eric Young world champion. That shit don't fly with me. That guy's not a main eventer. It was a joke. Anyway, I would watch TNA if they fired Josh Matthews, but there's so much wrong with this product, with this company. And hey, people are saying, oh, the wrestling's good. Yeah, the wrestling might be good. The wrestling was good on Clash of Champions, but that don't mean WWE is that great either. The thing is this. Billy Corrigan, I think is a great change that is needed in TNA. And maybe given the opportunity, we'll see this company turn around. Although the Grand Championship idea, I don't know. But then, hey, people probably shit on the X division, shit on the Cruiserweight division, saying that wasn't going to work. But look at it. We had a tournament to crown a new champion. Hey, the champion right now in WWE might not be so crash hot, but still, it was a successful event. And maybe we're looking at this wrong. Maybe the Grand Championship will be a thing of the future. But I don't know. But their idea was trying to sign CM Punk, which is a smart idea. I don't think CM Punk is ever going to go to TNA. I don't think they'll have the money for CM Punk. I don't think they'll have they'll probably give him the creative freedom, but I don't think CM Punk would ever go to TNA. I think CM Punk is done with wrestling, to be honest. And if he does wrestle again, it won't be for a major company. That will conclude the very first episode of the Sky Genie Show. Follow us on Twitter at SDD916 or on my Facebook group, the Sky Genie official group page. Please feel free to join and check out that page. That page is all about pretty much poking fun at shit, and but as long as there's no bullying, because I don't particularly like bullying, but we can poke fun at shit and be politically incorrect as much as you want. So please check it out. Also, if you like the show, again, at the homepage, there's a donate button that you can donate some money to. I mean, hey, this stuff's gonna stay free, but if you want better quality with audio and better content and maybe have way more shows, hey, the more you donate, the more shows I'll do and the more better I get. And hey, I want to get experience at this. I mean, hey, let's face it, this sucks. It's the worst fucking idea of a podcast ever. Anyway, also you'll probably see me in the Mixler page on Wrestling Soup or Get in the Corner, motherfucker. And yeah, so please take care and see you next time. Thanks.